Hello everyone, I want to welcome you back to the channel. My name is Ben, amateur call sign K0BJJ, and you're watching Spotter Jutting. Today, we are not in the house going to be talking about solo storm spotting. We're going to be actually out here in the field. So we're going to start in the truck, and that's just because that's where our first topic really hits us. First of all, I want to make a point of, and yes, I do have show notes, so you're going to see me looking at that, because I want to make sure I give you all the information that you really need to know. You're never alone when you storm spot. You need to have some kind of reporting system. You need to let people know where you're at within reasonable timeage. Now with that, for me, that comes in the form of APRS and GPS, whether it be radio or phone. Now I'm going to flip you around real quick, and I'm going to show you, because I'm actually doing testing right now with one of these modes. You were actually with me. I've taken a break from doing some field testing. Alright, so right now I'm doing field testing, and this is part of my safety. If you can see on there, that says Mingo DMR Iowa statewide. Now watch this. Sending Digi DMR APRS signal. That just reported my location. So now everyone on Aprs.fi knows that I am here. That is set to do that every 2 minutes or every time I let go of that microphone. Now when I'm in the car, I'm running digital APRS on my reporting channel to National Weather Service. And I'm also running off a GPS signal off my phone. There's two ways people can track me. So never alone. Another really good way to do it is if you want to get into social media, or if you're in the social media, and I'll give you a better angle. Someone's out on 2 meter simplex. If you really want to get a good signal, if you are in the streaming and doing this stuff live, your streams, give your locations in your streams every 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Hey, I'm chasing near Kellogg, Iowa. I am 3 miles east of Newton. I am 5 miles west of Newton, Iowa. I mean, there you go. You're reporting your location. Even though you might be physically alone in your vehicle, you can still do it in a way where people know where you're at. So that way, God forbid you make a mistake and you get taken out by a tornado, at least we know where to look. Or, a flash flood hits you. People know where to start looking. They know where that point is, and that's why that is very important. Another thing we are going to talk about, as you can hear the beast in the background, is the vehicle. This is really important, and I want to show you. So I'm going to turn you around. I want to show you something. Look at the way my vehicle is laid out. Now, we do have a slight breeze today. If I was storm chasing, this is not the location I would pick, but if the wind is coming from my back, look at that nice aerodynamic scoop right there. That's going to take all this wind and go right over the top, just like I'm driving. Safety is the key, and I know we've talked about that. Another thing, this is a 4-wheel drive. And if you look at my tires, it already came in handy today. I had to turn around in a field. I got on too steep of a slope. Make sure everything is up to speed, everything's up to kosher when it comes to your vehicle. Now we are going to briefly recap on some training stuff. National Weather Service has classes they want you to take because they want spotters in the field. That is probably your best source of training. But if you can't do that, Spotter Network also has classes that they'll have available for you that they want you to take before you can report on their platform. Also, apprenticing. There are storm chase teams everywhere. Apprentice one of them, hop along in the vehicle to make sure it's right for you. And now I'm going to say YouTube. Now, Matt K0LWC made a very good point about this in the comments in one of my videos. You need to be very careful when going to YouTube for training. Make sure you are watching known storm spotters. Make sure you are watching people that have been doing this professionally. Reed Timber is going to be one I suggest. Vince Walty and Colorado Storm Chasers. They are all doing this professionally. They all want to come home at the end of the day with either a paycheck in their life, but at least their life. But especially Reed Timber is out there collecting science. He is putting probes out and collecting data to better help storm modeling. So if you're going to watch YouTube, you need to be very cautious on the content you watch, but make sure you are watching professionals, or at least people that know what they're doing. And, you know, you'll know if you know people that know what they're doing, whether they're, you know, barreling head on into a storm and don't know what's going on, versus, you know, Dr. Reed Timmer, who, you know, gives lectures over this. So he also has some classes on Varsity Tutors. I would recommend those, even though I haven't seen them, but I'm a huge fan of Reed and been watching his stuff since he was in college and I was, you know, chasing storms on my bicycle around town. We're going to also hit on some communications equipment. You already saw my ham radio equipment. Phones. Make sure everything is working. Make sure you know where you're reporting to. If I got back in the truck right now and I showed you, I can tune in to the National Weather Service and State EOC talk group, and I can report there. And then that goes into reporting methods. Make sure you know what you're reporting and how you're going to report it. Now, I'm over here kind of on the edge of National Weather Service, Des Moines range. I think Poweshiek County is the actual edge, but I'm not going to go over there right now. But what we need to do is you need to make sure, one, you know what you're reporting, know what a funnel cloud looks like, know what a 1-inch hail looks like. Have to bring a tape measure with you. Bring a tape measure. I wouldn't recommend that. I recommend a ruler, and they would recommend a ruler. Something that does not bend. Calipers would even be better. So make sure what you're reporting, and then how you report it. Via radio, via, you know, social media. Are you gonna hit them on Twitter? By the way, you can hit me on Twitter at K0BJJ. So how are you going to report this stuff? The important thing is to remember, when you are in the field, when you are actually out here doing this stuff, and my gimbal's going to love me for the pan, when you're actually doing this stuff, is to do it safely and make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. Now, I'm not saying don't go out and chase a storm because, you know, you want the thrill of chasing a storm. By all means, there's a lot of people out there that do that. But you give yourself a reason. We're storm spotters, and those of us that consider ourselves kind of minor chasers, we do it for a reason. I don't leave the National Weather Service Des Moines area, spotting area, or watch area. Why? Because that's who I report to. I'm not going to go to Madison, Wisconsin and call into Des Moines. I'm going to stay in this area when there's severe weather. So keep that in mind, please, when you are out there spotting. I hope you found this video educational. The next video we're going to do is on team spotting, how it differs a little bit. Also, I did release a video on net control operations, which will more tie into team spotting than it did solo spotting. So if you would like to see that, I'm sure I'll have that carded somewhere around here. With that, thank you everyone for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Comment below if you have some. Constructive criticism is welcome. Like I said, I mentioned a criticism that Matt gave me, and he was absolutely right in his assessment. With that, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.